Hi guys, welcome back and welcome to a new bait video and dragging video. So we're going to try something a little bit new. We'll do Birkin bait for the first portion, and then I have some dragging stories to share with you. So without further ado, let's get started. This is for a Kelly 28 in the US in a competitive store, and these are the things that were purchased to support this offer. 9 twillies, 2 shawls, a pair of gloves, 2 belts, a mixture of shoes, many pairs of shoes, more than 6 pairs of shoes, including the chypres, a blanket, perfume, and a bunch of soaps, 2 fashion jewelry bangles, a pair of fashion jewelry earrings, a small leather good, 2 non-quota bags, including the mini bolide, so that was the total loyalty. And obviously won't include the 2 non-quota bags. So the total loyalty was 2 to 1 for this offer, and this was for the Kelly 28. So yeah, I mean, I think this is a really, really good offer, and something which I've noticed about this, and this is something which I think is really important for those of you with a home store. I do think the ability to buy like many options of something like over a period of time is a good way to show that you're loyal. Like many pairs of shoes, like more than 6 pairs of shoes, but a variety of shoes. So not just like the popular shoes that people love. The Glamazon also purchased boots, she purchased sandals, chypres, like a mixture and a wide variety of shoes. I feel like that shows that you are genuinely using things, because if you think about it, someone who's not purchasing in an organic way is only going to go for like the hot ticket shoes that everyone wants, so the Orans, the chypres, whatever. But she also purchased boots, she bought a wide variety of them. Another thing which I think helped as well is the blanket. You know, I feel like maybe I don't talk about homewares enough. I feel like for your home store, homewares still counts, and I feel like the items for the home still count. So like the pillows, the blankets, and things like that, like towels even. I feel like those things show that you're like a lifestyle client, and you are, yeah, you're someone who spends like in a lifestyle way, and I feel like it shows that you're a lifestyle, like a true lifestyle client, and I think that is something which is really important. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to mention she also picked up 2 belts. I think the idea of gloves is really cool. I would love the idea to have like gloves from Big H. I can imagine they're very well made, so I think that would be really nice. And also purchasing 2 shawls and 9 twillies, and a bunch of fashion jewelry as well. But I actually think that the shoes here counted a lot. I think the way that she shopped is a very good way, and she got a wonderful offer, which shows like staying loyal and being loyal is the most important thing. And I think when it pertains to loyalty, like you need to be loyal in a way that suits you. I like her shopping style, and I like the way that she shops. I think she shops in a very fresh, organic way, but she's also serious about getting her offer, and she makes sure to shop in a way that also supports the SA, so everyone wins. You shop in a good way, and you also get the offer that you want. I'd love to know what you think about this offer from Big H, and what are your thoughts on it. And yeah, just tell me what you think in the comments. Tell me what you think of the Birkin bait videos, if you still like them and you enjoy them. I really enjoy hearing about people's bait and their successes, so I'd love to know what you guys think. I think again, just like the way she shopped at this like store, I think is a good way to shop. You know, if you have a home store, just go there to be loyal, and you're buying things obviously that you enjoy, there's no question about it. But I think also shopping in a strategic way is also really good. I think the fact that she was like buying shoes, she's buying the shawls, she's buying the fashion jewelry and stuff, and she showed loyalty with 2 non-quota bags, including a mini bolide. You know, the bolide is an expensive bag, and I think it shows that you are a loyal person to the brand, because most people I think would be like, wow, the bolide is really expensive. So I think the ability to buy the bolide shows that the Glamazon has a lot of spending power, and she's able to spend in a way that Big H likes. I think Big H wants to see people come to the store and request bags like the bolide, you know? And I think, again, it shows that you have a lot of spending power and you have the ability to spend at a very high level. And I think that is the kind of thing that BKH wants to see. They definitely want to see people who can spend a lot of money and who are very, very, very good spenders. And she's an excellent example of someone who can spend a lot and show a lot of loyalty and pick up those non-quota bags as well. And yeah, get her offer as well. So salute to her. Thank you to her for sharing. And I'd love to know what you guys think of her offer. Of course, I love it. I think it's great because I love the Kelly bags. I love the Kelly family in general. I think I would gravitate more to that style, particularly in the Cellier, but yeah, that is what I think. All right, now I want to talk to you guys about this is like a mini version of a dragging video, but I also have, wait, before we start, I have some hot topics. Let me start off with the hot topics first. So my first hot topic is something which I had posted on my Instagram, and it's based off another dragging story which I'm not going to feature here, but it was someone complaining of poor treatment in a Louis Vuitton, saying that they had spent $2,000 and they had told the CA, I spent $2,000 shopping and I haven't got good customer service. I don't know why people announce their loyalty in exact numbers, like in the store or in the reviews, as if it's going to move mountains. I mean, unless you are showing a huge sum of loyalty in one transaction, like unless you're spending 10k USD, euro, pound sterling in one transaction, like, you know, there are people who spend 10k in minutes at Louis Vuitton. There are people who spend 2k in minutes, let alone, you know, in one transaction. So we were talking about it on my Instagram stories. I was asking those of you who follow me, make sure you follow me on Instagram, like, what do you guys think? And some of you were saying you think it's tacky. I agree. I think it is tacky. And I think it also shows an inability to understand the way huge brands like Louis Vuitton operate. Like, Louis Vuitton has people who come and spend 2k every week. Louis Vuitton has people who come and spend 2k a month, let alone coming in once in a blue moon because this was a tourist location to spend 2k. So I don't really understand the point of that person kind of, you know, panicking and like announcing how much they spend. So that was kind of the question I wanted to ask you guys for this hot topic segment is, why do people announce how much they spend in these dragon reviews, and why do people feel the need to say how much they spend? I've noticed this out in Big H dragon reviews, Chanel dragon reviews, and Louis Vuitton dragon reviews. Like, why do people announce the amount? Because there's always someone who can spend more. Another thing which I want us to discuss, which is a hot topic, is why do people get obsessed if the store doesn't have people? Like, in a lot of these dragon reviews, someone will be like, there's no one in the store, they could have served me, they could have got my money, they could have made a commission. Like, you have no idea how many local VIPs are at each boutique. There might be a boutique you go into and there's no one there and you're like, oh my god, they're going to be bankrupt without my, you know, my purchase, but they probably had a VIP come there the day before and they've hit their targets for the whole month. I mean, I don't know why people like do this to themselves and then end up getting dragged. Okay, all right, the first dragging review is from the Louis Vuitton on the Avenue Montaigne in Paris. I scheduled an appointment with Louis Vuitton at the Avenue Montaigne a month in advance. I was contacted by their staff member. She says the name of the CA, I beg your pardon. When it's Louis Vuitton, it's CA. I'm so sorry about the noise. These technicians here, they're making so much noise. I apologize. I responded to her inquiry regarding the specific items I was looking for. Unfortunately, she never responded or followed up. Don't worry. We've all been there when we've been blanked by, you know, SAs, CAs. I arrived at the Avenue Montaigne location at the scheduled time, only to be told my SA, the SA's name was at lunch. After her associate contacted her, she arrived shortly. When I inquired about her failure to respond to my WhatsApp message, she said she had issues with her phone. I understand phone issues, but she never bothered to follow up by email or phone call on WhatsApp once her phone issues were resolved. Translation: she read your message, boo-boo, and she did not want to reply to you. I think we can guess why she didn't reply. The person probably asked for canvas items. I was utterly disappointed when she told me the items I was interested in were out of stock. It could have saved me the energy and time if I'd known before. She tried to sell me on other bags, but my heart was set on the Graceful bag. Come on now, the script writes itself at this point. I was not interested in any other bag, so the poster wanted the Graceful. It wasn't exactly a small purchase, so just to switch gears on the spot was not an option. This is really important. My shopping experience didn't feel professional, courteous, because she didn't return text messages to me. Shame on LV for not protecting high-end customer service. She didn't even offer to see if the bag could be purchased and shipped to me. They won't do that, darling. When I returned home to the US, it was available on the website, adding more frustration to my LV shopping experience. Okay, first of all, being frustrated shopping does suck, but we all know why the CA didn't reply. We all know why. And don't come for me, because there's some people watch these videos and come and moan at me. Don't come for me. I'm not the CA who didn't respond to her messages because she wanted a Graceful. We've talked about this before, how Louis Vuitton doesn't want to sell only those items. We've talked about the absolutely minuscule commissions that are on the canvas bags. It's like literally nothing. In America, a Louis Vuitton CA gets $1.80 for every Neverfull they sell, and that's a Neverfull. So you can imagine the commission on the Graceful is like probably the same amount, if not less than $1.80, or in euros, or however much it is. It's probably nothing. So the CA wasn't feeling like she wanted to serve this client, and we all know it's because of the Graceful. Like, it's because of the Graceful at the end of the day. That the LVCA was not gracious with her time. You see what I did there? She tried to get her to buy something else. I feel like when you're going to Paris, I feel like you should be open to other options. I would be. Like, if they don't have, for example, like when I go to Europe this summer, if they don't have the Dauphine available, they will. It's a permanent bag. But if they don't have it available, I can get the side trunk. Or you can get something else while you're waiting. Something like that. I'm not laughing at the person. It's just the fact that the CA saw the Graceful boo-boo in that email, or the WhatsApp, I beg your pardon, it was a WhatsApp, and decided not to reply. I've been there with tough LV CAs, so I know it's not a great experience. The next dragging review is from the Galerie Lafayette boutique at Louis Vuitton in Paris. West Louis Vuitton outlet, you could have a visit. I waited in line for almost 4 hours with staff walking up and down, looking around aimlessly as if they're feeding off the frustrations of the customers waiting in line. You can see this picture the person put of them wandering around the store with no care of urgency. If you don't speak French, kindly do yourself a favor and don't visit this outlet. So many staff members, but attending to what seems like less than 2 to 3 customers at once. Avoid at all costs. Visit Montaigne. Montaigne just got dragged, honey. I'd give 0 stars if I could. Okay, so we've been through this before. The whole thing about one-to-one service and how like brands want to just give one-to-one service. Every time I've been to Galerie Lafayette, this Louis Vuitton is absolutely rammed. Everyone in there is rammed. SAs and clients are rammed like sardines in there. It is absolutely rammed in there. I personally wouldn't go there to expect like a luxurious experience. I think that there is like another part of it, like on the next floor for Pret-a-Porter, but I'm trying to remember now. Maybe if I haven't confused it with print on, but I'm pretty sure that there is another section for ready to wear, which is much more calm. I'm pretty sure they sell bags there, but I'm pretty sure you can't go there to buy a bag. I think you have to go there to buy ready to wear. Next dragging review is, I believe, also from the Louis Vuitton boutique on the Avenue Montaigne. There was a line to get in, which is normal for Louis Vuitton stores in Paris. It took me about 15 minutes to get in. Once I was there was a representative to assist me. They didn't have any of the items in the color and size I wanted. I had a few things on my mind. They're all out of stock. I asked if they could put it on hold. I beg your pardon. This isn't the Avenue Montaigne. Just remember, this is the Champs-Élysées. Not Avenue Montaigne, Champs-Élysées. I asked if I could put it on hold at a different store, if I could go ahead and purchase and then go to the other store to pick it up. The CA said no. I've done this before in the US and Paris a few years ago, so I was disappointed with her response. I reworded my question to make sure she understood the question. She said if she did that for all customers, it would take too long. I'm not asking you to do it for everyone in the store, just me. who is asking you now because you're out of stock. She could have still gotten the credit and I would pick it up myself from the other boutique. Then she asked if I could wait until tomorrow, and then I said yes, and she said they still won't have it tomorrow. The CA is trolling. What was the point of asking me? Basically, the store was lacking in products and good service. Now, if you cast your mind back when I went to Paris in December 2021, if you watched those videos, I did tell you guys that the CA I met there, who was so nice to me, he was like Clark Kent, then he turned into Lex Luthor by the end. Lex Luthor told me that they can hold exotics and they can get the exotic to you if you're in France. So let's say you want to buy an exotic bag and it's in Strasbourg or it's in Marseille. If you commit to getting the exotic, they will make sure that you get it in Paris, so you don't have to go and get it. They're not going to hold things which are not like exotics, in my opinion, or like trunks or things like that, or really, really expensive prêt-à-porter. So I'm guessing that this person was not buying an exotic, a hard-sided piece, or really expensive piece of ready-to-wear. Ready-to-wear, exotics 100%, that I confirmed with Lex Luthor. And I can only imagine that ready-to-wear and trunks, it would be a similar thing, that they would hold it for you. You know, I don't know, can you be mad that they're not going to hold the item for you? I don't know how mad someone can be about them deciding not to hold the item for you. It's their rules, it's their decision. I can't really blame them if it's not super expensive. Like, you can't expect them to hold a pair of shoes for you. Shoes are popular. I'm guessing that these were shoes because the person did mention the size and the color. Like, if they're shoes, like, you know, why should they hold shoes for you? You just have to go to the store and find your shoes. No one said shopping in Paris is particularly super luxurious, particularly if you're buying popular items that everyone wants. Next dragging review is from the Big H boutique in Boston, Massachusetts in America. My experience was the worst possible. I walked into the store to buy a celebratory gift for myself. The place was totally empty. SAs that were all by the checkout counter saw me coming in. They didn't even lift their eyes. I waited for a few minutes. I went to the desk and asked if someone could help me. They were chatting and laughing. I was told to wait in a very snobby tone. I turned my back and they continued their chat and laughed as if they were at a bar. A few minutes later, no one came. I made my way through an exit. Then an SA came running after me. They were rude, arrogant, and pushed away a client ready to spend a lot of money. They were ready to spend like money, dollar signs. Pretty unacceptable. I've been better assisted in Primark. This is a common complaint of a lot of the Big H boutiques. You know, I think telling someone you need to wait or saying it in a snobby tone, that isn't everyone's cup of tea. But this doesn't surprise me about this particular location, because this is something which I have heard a lot about this particular store. Many people have complained of poor treatment and said that the SAs are not particularly friendly. If you shop at this store, if you've got a quote back from this boutique, let me know in the comments. This is also of another review of the Boston Big H store. I went into the store with my husband, fully intending to buy a fragrance. I got a sample from my last Big H purchase in France and a scarf. I managed to get an SA to help me with the fragrance, but we were ignored for the rest of the trip. Despite my intent to buy that day, we couldn't get anyone's attention. There were plenty of people standing around. The scarf and fragrance are still at the store. I'm certainly secure enough in myself that I'm not begging someone to take my money. The service at this particular store could be improved on. It seems the sales staff have forgotten they're there to help the customer. I've gotten much better service at other Big H stores. Honestly, guys, when it pertains to something like this, I have changed my opinion on a lot of things. When I first started, going to luxury stores and shopping at luxury stores, when I was pushing this channel, I was going to stores. My husband would go to stores, and it was like, I feel like during the panoramic, shopping during the panoramic, it was fine to pick up very, very few things. This was my experience, particularly in Paris in December 2021, January 2022, buying something really small, like a perfume, a notebook, whatever, it was fine. And like picking up small items like a scarf, a perfume. I mean, in America, is this like the scarf and the perfume together? Is it even going to be $500? It's not. It's probably going to be $400. I have found that it's just really stressful, if you ask me personally, going to standalone stores to buy very small items. So I would recommend this poster and anyone who is watching, don't go to a standalone boutique for any of the top tier girls to purchase very small items now. I feel like during the panoramic, they were happy, and if anyone came, I'm sure when the panoramic happened, if you walked into vacation, if you bought like a Ulysses notebook, I'm sure they would be happy to see you. But she walked in, she wanted to buy a scarf. She said here, I managed to get a salesperson to help me with the fragrance, but we were ignored for the rest of the visit. You were ignored because you bought the fragrance. Don't come for me in the comments. I am stating the obvious. I'm stating what we all know. I will say how we all feel. Some of you don't want to write it because it's horrible. It's horrible. I've been there too, don't worry. I have gone into stores and picked up small things and have been blanked. It's fine. I don't take it personally because it's not a ton of money that I spent at that time. So I'm like, you can't really take it personally. She took it personally because she felt like they were ignoring her because she wasn't spending a lot of money. For Big H, a standalone boutique like Boston, there's a lot of money in Boston, there's a lot of money there. There are going to be people who have lots of money to spend. Them picking up a perfume and a twilly is like something they do right at the end after blowing multiple bags on base items. I'm not saying it's right. Don't come for me in the comments. I'm just saying I think people will be much more, like someone like this particular client should be much more comfortable, in my opinion, shopping at a Big H boutique in a department store like what I saw in London, like maybe going to the boutique at Harrods or going to the boutique at Selfridges where it's a department store. Like it feels, it's still very formal because it's Big H at the end of the day. But it didn't have this like really, I don't know, I feel like sometimes like the Paris boutiques have this weird suffocating feeling. I don't know how to explain it. They have this weird, creepy, suffocating feeling at times. Whereas I feel like the London department stores, it's just like, you can pop in and out. Someone like this poster, I think she would have been much more comfortable there versus going to a freestanding store. Because I feel like at a freestanding store, the Big H SAs want to sell top tier, high commission items off the bat. So prêt-à-porter, the really expensive homewares, the fine jewelry, all the men's pieces count. So the men's, like those like top tier high commission items. So I think if you walk in and say, hey, I want to buy a scarf or a twilly, as someone who doesn't have an essay there, because I know there are going to be people saying, I shop in Boston and I've only spent $10 this year and I got a quota bag. We're not talking about you. We're not talking about people who spend $10 a year at the Boston store and get a quota bag because they're so amazing and everyone loves them and they don't have cones on their head. We're not talking about them. We're talking about people who are tourists like this person. So while I feel bad for her, and I do feel bad, I know it looks like I don't feel bad. I do feel bad. I've been there. It's not like the panoramic. During the panoramic, luxury stores were happy to take our money. I remember because I was shopping during the panoramic and it was like whatever purchase you made, it was fine. My husband also remembered as well. He would go to Louis Vuitton's. Like the smallest purchase, it was fine. But I feel like after the panoramic, luxury stores like, how much money do you have today? And specifically, the 5 Paris girls, Big H, Big LV, Big C, Dior and Goya are like, how much money do you have today? Whereas I feel like during the panoramic it wasn't really like that, and that is something which I noticed as well. Okay, the next one that I want to read is from Big C, the Chanel in New York City, on 57th Street. Low inventory, they only reserve the best-selling bags for VIP customers, so these bags to make it onto the shelves. When I mentioned if it was possible to order, be listed for a bag, their reactions were as if I wanted to achieve world peace. That's a good clapback. That's a good singer. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I feel like the problem with a lot of these dragging reviews and these dragging stories is like, I think a lot of people who write them know that they have to buy ready to wear. Like this person knows that they are saving the best. Like it's well known, I think, in the Chanel world that Chanel saves their best items for people who spend the most money. There are a lot of people who watch my channel who are Chanel VIPs and have told me privately they've never had quality issues with Chanel products ever. Like handbags, nothing. So this leads me to deduce that like the best made Chanel bags go to the people who spend the most money, because the fact that this person wrote this dragging review and acknowledged that the best selling bags go to the VIPs first, to me is, you know, proof of that, for sure. So I don't know, I think people just need to get with the program and need to accept the things going on. So I just wanted to share that mini dragging portion of this video. I'd love to know what you guys think about everything, and what do you guys think about the today's selection of people complaining of poor treatment. I want to focus on the one that struck me the most was the poster went to buy the scarf and the perfume at Big H. I just want to be clear, I empathize, because I'm someone who also enjoys just picking up a few items or picking up one thing and leaving, whatever. But I have found that it's much easier to do that in department stores. Like, if you don't want to spend a ton of money, just go to department stores and do that. I think it's completely fine. And also at Harrods Big H, for example, they have the Harrods Big H itself, and then they have a Harrods Big H beauty concession in Harrods. And it's the same thing at Gallery Lafayette. They have a beauty concession. I remember because I bought one beauty product there, and the beauty essay, she was a mature lady. She was really, really, really rude to me about like my French. She was the only person who had ever said anything rude to me about my French. And I remember being like, wow, like, you're really, really mean and rude. And she couldn't speak English. So I'm like, bruh, like, I'm trying to speak French with you and you're like rude about my French. And I remember being like really annoyed. That was the only time I ever had like realistically like a bad experience during that time. And that was in the first trip, December 2021. Not the first trip, but like the first trip since I've been posting in terms of going to Paris, because obviously I've been to Paris many times before then, before I was posting on YouTube. So yeah, I mean, look, you know, going into Hermes Boston to buy, you know, a silk scarf and a perfume with no SA contact and expecting them to roll out the red carpet for you. I mean, girl, like, I don't know what she expected. I personally wouldn't. If I was just going to buy those two items, I probably wouldn't go into that freestanding store, me personally. You could just order it online. I feel like for those freestanding stores, you should just be ready to be spending, like, if I was in America, right, and I wanted to go to a Big H boutique as a tourist, I would get ready to spend $1,000. Like, that's kind of what I'm thinking, like, at least $900, $1,000 in buying shoes or something else or whatever the amount, like, you know, enamel bracelets or whatever. But I would be trying to spend $900 to $1,000 as a tourist with no SA and without the intention of buying a ton of other stuff, assuming I wasn't trying to get a non-quote bag or a quote bag. So I'm not saying that the treatment was right. I just want to be clear, because I don't want anyone to misconstrue what I'm going to say. But I'm not surprised that this happens. Like, that location probably sells, you know, tons and tons and tons of inventory per week. And that CA probably has clients who are going to come into the store and spend $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. So someone coming in, like, if you're the SA, I beg your pardon for Big H, if you're the SA and you have clients who spend $5,000 in one trip, $4,000 in one trip, even a client who's going to spend $3,000, you know, that person is outranking the person who's just come in to buy a twilly or a silk scarf and a perfume. And that person buying the silk scarf and the perfume expects this incredible luxurious experience when they've spent $400. If I go into a store and I'm only buying one thing and it's a small item, I don't expect them to roll the red carpet out for me. That's me personally. So that's just kind of my thought on that one, because I would love to chat to you guys about that one in the comments, because I think that one is very interesting. So tell me what you think about all of the dragging reviews. There's so many, and I can't wait to discuss all of them with you as time goes on. I'm going to be featuring other brands, so I think the next dragging reviews video, I have some like other videos I want to film at the moment, but the next installment will definitely feature Dior, because Dior has been dragged a lot in a lot of the reviews. People have said that Dior essays are really fake and have this like fake thing about them. They like pretend to be your friend, they pretend to be so nice to you, and then if you don't spend the way they want, they're like, oh, you know. It's so funny, so I can't wait to discuss all of this with you. I'd love to know if you guys have any of you been dragged? One time I asked you guys this and you were like, no, we've never been dragged. I don't know, guys, we've all been dragged. Come on, remember if you've been dragged and share your experience in the comments. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Please consider subscribing. Follow me on all of my socials. They're all linked below. And go join my newsletter and go join my Facebook group. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you guys. And I'll see you very soon in my next video.